Welcome. This is the Unite Stakeholder Call series hosted by Feeding San Diego. It's an opportunity for us to gather the community together and to be able to give updates on the impact and the programs that we're running to really try and help and to get the word out about the services that we offer. We're really honored to have today on the call with us. Our agenda today, we have a couple of guest speakers with us, but to start the call, we're going to quickly take everyone through a CEO update, and then we will turn the call over to my colleague Ali Colbrand, who is going to give us an overview of the last quarter, and then we will introduce to you one of our very valued community partners, Renee Resco from Helen Woodward Animal Center. And then we will speak, we'll turn it over to Dana Henderson, our Director of Programs, who will speak about advocating for those that we serve, and will take us through some of the work that Feeding San Diego is currently doing in the community. We will then turn it over to Carrie Kapich from the San Diego Tourism Authority, who will speak a little bit about what is happening in the hospitality and tourism industry, before then looking to the next quarter and a new campaign that we're launching next week. At that point, we'll turn it over to Q&A. So thank you again for joining. We will get started. So for the CEO update, unfortunately, our CEO, Dan Shea, was not available to join us today, but we're really proud, I am really proud to be able to introduce to you a new member of our team, Bob Kamensky, and he is our Chief Strategy Officer. So Bob, over to you.
Well, good afternoon to all, and thank you very much for the invitation to join the Unite call. I will express for Dan Shea, the Chief Executive Officer, his regrets for not being able to make it to today's forum, but he does send his greetings and his well wishes to all of you. For the participants and the attendees associated with the Unite call here, thank you for joining us. I want to express, from my perspective, I've been involved in corporate, military, particularly in the world of submarine operations, and federal service in over about 40 years worth of career time. And I have faced several significant crises during that time period. But I have never faced one that directly impacts my home community. And what you all are involved in, the contributions that you are making now, are having a direct impact and influence on a significant crisis that is facing San Diego County. I never expected to be involved in an organization that would be combating a fundamental element of our life, which is food, feeding hungry people. And here we all are, standing united and working to the betterment of our community, our hometown of San Diego, on such a fundamental element of life. So I applaud all of you for your contributions and for your continued support in our efforts to close the hunger gap here in San Diego. My background, coming in as a Chief Strategy Officer here at Feeding San Diego, I mentioned I have time with the corporate world. I have worked for Sony Corporation, General Atomics in one of their subsidiaries, and with General Dynamics in an earlier time of my career. Also spent a total lapse time of about 35 years in uniform between active and reserve duty, the vast majority of it associated with the submarine force. And then most recently, I left federal service in order to come here to serve as a chief strategy officer. And we are soon to launch a new 3-year strategic plan intended to accelerate Feeding San Diego's ability to address the hunger gap being experienced here in our hometown. Not prepared to discuss those with you yet. We still need to go to our board of directors for the approval of our strategy, but trust in that what we are approaching is going to be a multiplied increase in both ability and desire to help close the hunger gap in San Diego. And we will need partners united in our efforts, such as what you represent, in order for us to be able to succeed. So with that, a welcome to all. And I'm anxious to hear how some of our partners are contributing to this overall effort as we unite and combat the hunger problem facing San Diego. Dana, thank you.
Thank you so much, Bob. Sorry for that. At this time, I would now like to turn it over to Ali Colbran, our Director of Development.
Thank you, Dana. Thank you, Bob. That was a great update, and we're really excited to have you on board. So like Dana said, my name is Ali Colbran. I'm the Director of Development for Feeding San Diego. And I'm going to share some highlights with you from Q2. But first, we wanted to share a short video with all of you expressing our gratitude to the community for their incredible support this past year. So we'll go ahead and play that. Wonderful. So again, thank you so much. We're so grateful to the community and our partners for their incredible support in 2020 as we faced unprecedented food insecurity across the county. This past year was really hard, but for me, a bright spot was witnessing San Diego come together to support each other. So thank you very much. Some additional updates from Q2. As you saw on that video, From March 2020, when the pandemic began, through the end of 2020 on December 31st, Feeding San Diego has distributed nearly 26 million meals, which is an average of 700,000 more meals per month than before the pandemic. So that gives you an insight into the scale of which we've upped our services to provide food to the community. In December alone, volunteers at our warehouse helped pack over 30,000 food boxes. And our holiday campaign, Give Hope, Share Joy, raised a record-breaking 10.1 million meals. By comparison, last year we raised 5.6 million meals. So that's really demonstrating how the community has come together to support our mission and our work. And thank you again to ESET, First Republic Bank, and Barron's Market for sponsoring that campaign. Over 1,400 Thanksgiving meal kits were provided for free to children and their families at 5 of our youth meal sites. And Feeding San Diego has been proud to partner with the Helen Woodward Animal Center for special Meals food distribution on December 23rd, which you'll hear more about shortly from our guest speaker. And lastly, very exciting, we welcomed our second tractor trailer onto our fleet, which is going to allow us to distribute more food into the community. Thank you again for your support in 2020, and I'm going to turn it over to Dana Henderson, our Director of Programs. Thanks, Dana.
Thanks, Allie. So I'm going to introduce our next speaker, Renee Resco, Vice President of Development from Helen Woodward, Animal Center. And Helen Woodward partnered with Feeding San Diego. We've been partners since March of 2020. Our partnership started when Renee reached out to Feeding San Diego seeking food resources to distribute to individuals and families participating in the Meals program. And we began providing food in early April of 2020. So while the original plan was only to continue for 2 weeks, the need continued to grow as the pandemic raged on, and now we are sending food on a weekly basis in partnership with Helen Woodward Animal Center. So thank you, Renee, and welcome.
There we go. Sorry about that. Thank you so much for having me on the call today. It's really an honor to participate. And I just wanted to say how proud we are of this partnership with Feeding San Diego. We really feel that it's making a huge difference in the quality of life for thousands of San Diegans and their pets through this special partnership. Just a little bit about Meals and that program and how we came together. Meals actually started about 40 years ago here at Helen Woodward Animal Center when we came to a very important realization, which is that our clients, when faced with the choice of losing their best friend or sacrificing their own health and nutrition, were actually giving a significant portion of their human food to their pets in order to ensure the well-being of their beloved best friend. And that was something that we found as a result of a volunteer who worked with Meals on Wheels and Helen Woodward Animal Center. And when they came to us with that problem, we knew right away we had to take that issue and concern off of people's plates, and we had to be able to provide for their pets and ensure their nutrition so that they could have their meals and not worry about what their pet was going to be eating. So Meals started as a partnership with Meals on Wheels and a number of other social service agencies, helping seniors who were low income and homebound. And then over the years, we've expanded and include now disabled military who have service animals, as well as the homeless population of San Diego and their pets. And most recently, through our Meals Relief Program and our partnership with Feeding San Diego, we've been reaching out to financially impacted San Diegans who are dealing with the results of COVID-19, whether it's a job loss or a medical issue, whatever it is that's going on in their lives that is making difficult for them to be able to provide for their family members, including their furry ones. We're making sure that that's something that they don't have to worry about. So we have right now about 250 families signed up who come for their regular pickups, and they fill out a survey and explain to us how many pets they have, how many family members they have, and they're able to come for their pickups, and we've got their food prepackaged and ready to go. As we're looking at right now, these statistics, since the partnership started, we've been able to serve 4,520 clients with over 9,040 pets. And they've received over 63,280 pounds of pet food. And then as a result of Feeding San Diego, we've been able to provide over 120,000 meals and served over 18,080 individuals with the human food deliveries. So with our partnership, not only have we been able to touch thousands of lives, those San Diegans and their pets, but also all of their family members, and ensuring that they have the meals that they need to keep everybody in their home healthy and happy. And during this time that we know mental health is a struggle for so many people, being able to keep their pet and have that companionship in their lives is truly something that means everything to so many people. We have many people who tell us, my pet is my reason for getting out of bed in the morning. My pet is the only thing that keeps me going. And it really means so much more than we could ever know to these folks, to know that they don't have to worry about relinquishing their pet during those most difficult times. So we want to thank you so much for this partnership that's brought that together. I wanted to share a few slides or a few photos and information about our December event. That was especially heartwarming for all of us. It was a wonderful time for both organizations to come together. We had an idea for making the holiday special for our families, knowing that many of them were struggling and probably not going to be able to provide the kind of holiday that they would like for their families. So we put our heads together and we put together this event on December 23rd. It started with cars pulling in, greeted by Kentucky and Derby from the Pack show, which was featured on Amazon. They actually are one of our surf dog friends. And so they were happy to be there to greet the families as they pulled in. They picked up their pet food and their human food, as well as some toys for their dogs and cats. And then after they had done all that, they came to the exciting part of the visit where they were greeted by Santa, who had specially selected gifts for every child. So they actually went through the wish list of every single family and chose especially selected items for every child that was on their list for Santa Claus. So it was a pretty neat experience to see those faces light up, knowing that that they were going to be getting something that was specially chosen just for them. And then in addition, as you can see, we had some special holiday guests that were dressed for the occasion. Our horses from Therapeutic Riding were donning their festive attire, as well as our alpacas, Kronk and Cusco, were all ready for the holiday. So they had a little critter driving experience. And if they liked, they could have a horse visit right in the back seat. We also had a number of our therapy dogs and just a variety of fun animals that the kids really enjoyed meeting, and that made it all the more festive. We also had a special donation of See's candy for every family that was included in their pickup, and it really was a fun and festive day. And I just wanted to share a quote from one of the moms because it really touched our hearts. She said, I wanted to personally thank you all with all my heart for the wonderful Christmas fun today for my two daughters and our pets. We're so grateful for the doggy supply help and seeing the horses, the alpacas, Derby the golden doodle, the Pekingese, the Shih Tzu, Yorkie, Santa and his helpers was such a blast for my girl. Santa's surprise with the gifts we totally did not expect was a huge blessing. We barely had enough gas to get here today, and these gifts are so much appreciated so that our child has something to open on the 25th. It really warms my heart, and just hope that whoever is responsible knows that we are truly thankful, and we thank you again and wish you a Merry Christmas. So those were the kinds of responses that we got from families, and to think that the gift that we provided for their child was the only one that they were going to have under their tree it really touched us all. And again, we just are so thankful for Feeding San Diego and our partnership to be able to do this event. We're actually looking to plan a fun spring event. And we're already working on the details. So we'll be planning something and be reaching out to talk more about that in the coming months. But this was such a success that we know we have to do it again. But I just want to say in closing that we're honored to partner with Feeding San Diego. The work that your organization is doing is amazing. And when I hear those numbers and you put the faces behind the numbers and you think of the families that are struggling, and we see them here for their pickups, and we know that this is really one of the things that's giving them hope and keeping them going during these really difficult times. And we just can't thank you enough, and we're so proud to be a part of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Renee. That was a really heartwarming story, and we are equally happy and proud to be partnering with you. So we look forward to our continued partnership.
Thank you, Dana.
Okay, so at Feeding San Diego, we feel it's important to advocate for those we serve and to amplify their voices to help end hunger across San Diego County. So to that end, we wanted to share a client story with you. We recently met Guillermina at our Sunset and Willow School Pantry distribution, and she shared the following with us. I come to this distribution for my kids. It would be difficult to afford food for my family without this distribution. My husband is retired and collects disability, but it isn't enough. Our 2 kids who are working got laid off because of the pandemic. Food is so expensive, we just have enough for basic necessities. Coming to this distribution is so helpful. Thank you. Thank you for donating your time and money and expecting nothing in return. So thank you to the support of our donors, volunteers, and community partners. You know, we are the source of support for Guillermina and the thousands of other people across San Diego County like her who are facing hunger. A key strength of Feeding San Diego lies in our countywide food rescue and distribution network. And we provide meals to the community through these collaborations with over 320 community partners throughout San Diego County, including Helen Woodward Animal Center, who we heard from. And we're really proud to announce that on February 9th, we will be adding a new mobile pantry location to our distribution schedule. And it will support the tribal communities in and around Santa Isabel Reservation. The Santa Isabel Mobile Pantry was developed in partnership with Indian Health Council and SDG&E in response to the recently planned power shutoff. So originally intended as an emergency distribution. However, it was so well attended that we prioritized adding Santa Isabel as an ongoing distribution site to meet the need in our tribal communities in San Diego County. So if you're not familiar with the Santa Isabel Reservation, it is maybe 15 minutes from Julian. So as always, you can find a list of our available food distributions on our website at feedingsandiego.org, and you just click on Get Help and use our interactive Find Food map to find a distribution in your local community. You can see an example of what that Find Food map looks like on this slide.
Thank you so much, Dana and Renee, very much. We appreciate it. I am now proud to be able to introduce to you our next partner and guest speaker, Carrie Capiche. Pardon me if I mispronounced that, Carrie. But Carrie is the Chief Operating Officer of the San Diego Tourism Authority. And she is tasked with promoting San Diego as a travel destination, and is also a proud native San Diegan. She's on the senior leadership team of the San Diego Tourism Authority and really has been an invaluable member of the team to help market our beautiful city to the rest of the world. Feeding San Diego is a proud member of the San Diego Tourism Authority, and we have been working with Carrie and her team over the last number of months to be able to identify ways that we can support the hospitality and tourism industry through these really challenging times. So we're really proud that Carrie was able to join us today on this call because she's going to just help share some insight into the hospitality industry and how they've been impacted by COVID-19 and the economic challenges that it presents. So Carrie, over to you.
Thank you, Dana, and thank you, Bob, as well. We really appreciate the opportunity to talk about the tourism sector and the challenges that the sector has faced during the pandemic. And I thought I'd give you a little bit of context in terms of who we are and also the travel tourism economy here in San Diego and why it's so important, and the number of people that are employed and are now unemployed as a result of the pandemic. So the San Diego Tourism Authority is a nonprofit. We're a 501c6 and we do sales and marketing. So what we've learned through this pandemic is that we've also had to become extremely strong advocates for the workforce that make up the tourism community. And the impacts have been devastating to the employees of San Diego and really more so within this sector. So prior to the pandemic, obviously many people had heard of tourism, the military, manufacturing, and our life sciences as really the pillars of our economy. Over 19 billion was generated through the tourism sector. 1 in 8 San Diegans were employed in the sector, so it's our friends, our family, our neighbors. We, as a population of over 3 million people, hosted 35 million visitors here annually, and we were a top travel destination. One of the things that sometimes people don't realize is that the sector, which is called leisure and hospitality, it comprises of, you've got restaurants, theme parks, hotels, transportation, you have museums, you have a wide variety of services, venues, for example, entertainment, that make up the sector. So when we think about the pandemic, unfortunately, the pandemic essentially shut down our sector. And prior to the pandemic, this sector had 11% of the employment base, but it's suffered almost 40% of the unemployment. So when you think about all of the closures that have happened, it's really been devastating to this broad part of our economy here in San Diego. So if we could go to the next slide. Where we are currently, and I was talking with Dana about this, she heard me speak on one of the recent economic development outlook calls. I was explaining that we're looking at a 5-year recovery horizon for this industry sector. It has been so devastated by the stop-start and closures that we've had as a result of the pandemic. There are, unfortunately, within the state of California, no guidelines for many of our businesses to reopen. So if you're a theme park like Legoland, you do not know what's expected of you. You do not know when you will be able to reopen. And they've lost 90% of their employees at that one visitor attraction. They don't know when they're going to be able to reopen and if they have capacity limits. And that's just one example of many museums, arts organizations, the Padres. I mean, you think about all of these different entities that still don't know what to expect. And all of that uncertainty has impacted employees. Unfortunately, not only is employment impacted, but it's also tax revenues and visitor spending that comes into our community. So the city of San Diego, as you're starting to see through the news, is unfortunately facing more budget cuts because tourism taxes are down so dramatically. And in the leisure and hospitality sector, unemployment is currently, we've lost 77,000 jobs. Those are San Diegans who are unemployed. If we go to the next slide, what you see here is that really it is our sector that's taken the worst of it. And the next sectors are retail, which you can understand based on initially with stay-at-home orders and then limitations on capacity for retailers. They lost jobs, especially with the proliferation of online shopping, education, a little bit in healthcare as there was a shift to providing critical care. So when we take a look at where we are today and where we see things going, we know we have a very long road ahead of us. We know that it'll take time before employment can return. We need more businesses to be reopened and activities to be allowed. And I will say I'm very proud of our community for operating safely and putting safe guidelines in place, and for all the work that's been done with the county and its reopening team. I also want to thank all the San Diegans for supporting local businesses and doing what they can, whether it's takeout from their local restaurant, shopping and small retailers, staying at hotels here on a local basis. But the more that we can do to help each other through this pandemic and to be able to turn the corner, the better. And obviously, the work that Feeding San Diego does, all of the donors and supporters and partners that you have are critical to helping the people of San Diego move forward. So, on behalf of the Tourism Authority and the tourism community, I just want to say thank you. We really, really appreciate all that you're doing. We look forward to partnering, and we really could not, our people couldn't do and be able to sustain without the support that you're able to provide. So we deeply appreciate it.
Carrie, thank you so much. Gosh, the stats are really heartbreaking, and every time I hear them, they're just they just make me so grateful for the work that you're doing, and I'm really proud that we've been able to partner with you to really look at what we can do together, because to your point, we're all in this together, and the only way out is through, and we have to be able to help lift each other up to support those that are in need right now, which really is a perfect segue into the next section that we want to speak to you about, which is what we have coming up. And I am really proud to be able to announce that we are launching a new campaign this February, and it is called Spread Love San Diego. The hospitality industry in particular has been so supportive of Feeding San Diego over the years. Many of you who have supported us over the years have probably are aware or have attended our Pairings with a Purpose event that we used to do at Bobby Riggs Tennis Center. We've held campaigns called Restaurants Unite. For any number of events, we've called on members of the hospitality industry, whether it be museums or restaurants or others, to donate gift cards to help us raise money. But now that the hospitality industry needs our help, as Carrie just shared, so many people have lost their jobs. There's unprecedented levels of need, and we wanted to do something that would be really special. And February is the month of love. And it's an opportunity to really spread kindness. So we are launching a campaign called Spread Love San Diego, and it has a few different elements to it that I wanted to share with you on the call today. The first of which is an emergency distribution that we are launching. It is in partnership with the San Diego Tourism Authority and also the California Restaurant Association, where we are going to host a special distribution every Monday throughout the month of February at Pechanga Arena at 1 o'clock for members of the hospitality industry that have been impacted by layoffs in the industry. And this is a distribution that will be free to all those attending, of course. And really the purpose of this hospitality distribution is more to help generate awareness and to educate these the people that have been recently laid off, because one of the hardest things is that so many of the people that have been laid off recently, they're in this situation for the first time, and they're not aware of the resources that exist in the community to support them through it. So really the objective is not that this would be a distribution that they would come to regularly, but rather we would invite everyone to come once, and then we will be also giving them collateral such as a flyer with our Find Food map on it, where they can go to our Find Food map and put in their zip codes so that they can actually, for a longer term solution, find distributions that are closer to their homes. We'll also provide them with information about CalFresh so that they realize that there is such a program that exists where they can if they qualify, can get groceries for free, and that Feeding San Diego can help them apply for CalFresh. So we really want to empower people with the information they need to be able to sustain themselves over the long term, because as we heard, this is a long-term situation. So that is the first, the emergency distribution for the hospitality industry. The second component of the campaign is that we have, as we always do every February, we will have digital Valentine's Day cards that people can purchase for those they love, and really give a gift that matters. So for a minimum of a $5 donation, you can send one of 4 Valentine's Day card digitally to those that you care about, knowing that you're also helping to raise money for people facing hunger across our community. And finally, we are also going to be launching a new initiative called Spread Love San Diego, but it is a gift a meal initiative. So what's really special about this actually is that it was originally, the origin of the idea was conceived by a local Girl Scout troop who is earning their bronze award patch. And the little girl, Lily, who had the idea, her parents are both owners of 2 restaurants that are here in San Diego, One Door North and the Smoking Goat. And she has been living through with her parents, obviously, the impact of COVID-19 on the community, and had the idea, what if we could help raise money for, or drive extra revenue to restaurants while also helping to feed people? So they reached out to me at Feeding San Diego, and we've been working with our team, and we've determined that we can actually make this happen through our food rescue app called Meal Connect. And so the way this will work is restaurants will be invited to register for this program. They will, as all participating restaurants, they'll add a menu item to their menus, a $15 Spread Love San Diego menu item. And then their customers will have the opportunity, when they're ordering their other meals, their regular order, that they could then gift a meal to a person facing hunger. And so the customer would add that menu item to their order, and then the restaurants would alert Feeding San Diego to the donation using their Meal Connect app. So we're really excited about this initiative. It also will be launching next week, and this will be an ongoing initiative that we will continue to run. But anyway, we're really grateful for the support of the community, and again, every action counts. So whatever everyone can do to help support those in need, that is the name of the game. So as a reminder, there are really many ways that you can help. If you're on the call and you're wondering what you can do to help, you can help. If you do know somebody that is facing hunger, or you yourself need help, please go to the website and use our Find Food map to find a location closest to you of one of our food distributions. You can obviously make a gift to Feeding San Diego, knowing that your donation will help support and help fund our hunger relief services. If you're a food donor, you can donate food. You can connect with our sourcing team and help donate food. You can start a fundraiser, or even just spread the word through social media about all the different ways that people can help. And we have any number of benefit campaigns as well, with socially conscious partners that have kindly committed to donating a percentage of proceeds to Feeding San Diego. So there's many different ways you can help, and we're really, from the bottom of our hearts, grateful for all of it, because we cannot fulfill our mission without you. So thank you. On that note, I would like to open it and invite all the panelists, pardon me, to join me back, and we will take any questions that may be in the chat. So thank you to everyone for listening. And if you do have a question, please let us know in the chat. Okay. So I'm going to just stop sharing my screen, and then we can just open the floor up for questions. Let's see. I don't see any questions at the moment. So if there are none at this time, we can close it out. But again, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. And if ever you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out to Feeding San Diego through our info@feedingsandiego.org email address, and we would be happy to get back to you. But thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, Carrie, and thank you, Renee, again for joining us. We're so grateful to have you. Okay, bye, everybody.